do is adore you all of the time.
And so welcome back to another one, you guys. If you're new to the channel, my name is Andrew with Younger Toyota in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on our inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we're in the brand new 2024 Toyota Tacoma because it has been completely redesigned for the 2024 model year. Got upgraded powertrains, plenty of new features as well, and you still get the 2 years or 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance, which is always a good thing too. But ultimately, this video we will be testing out and going over everything about this one. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so as the title implies, this review is going to be specific to the SR5 trim level. And there are a few different configurations for that SR5 trim. First one, you got the 4x2 6-foot bed extra cab for $36,200. The 4x2 6-foot bed double cab for $37,700. 4x4 5-foot bed double cab for $40,400. And lastly, the 4x4 6-foot bed double cab for $40,900. But regardless of trim level that you go with, the power plant is going to be the same. And so this new power plant is a 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, putting out 278 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, 317 pound-feet of torque, coming in at only 1,700 RPM. That's pretty good. Power sent to the rear wheels or all wheels through Toyota's, of course, 4-wheel drive system there. Power sent to the ground through an 8-speed automatic, 0 to 60 time coming in at approximately 7 seconds. MPG numbers coming in at 21 in the city, 26 on the highway for the rear wheel drive, 19 city, 24 then on the highway for the 4-wheel drive, taking regular unleaded fuel. And so now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the new Taco here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2024 Toyota Tacoma here up to speed. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go! There's no spinning. That's kind of cool. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's 60 right there. So you're not going to have any issues emerging onto the highway. Honestly, 0 to 60 in 7 seconds flat for a truck, that's not that bad, guys. So yeah, absolutely no issues with that. And there really wasn't any substantial turbo lag that I noticed either, because sometimes you do get turbo lag with turbocharged 4-cylinders. And of course, it's going to be a little bit more pep at the initial punch with the V6 that the previous generation had, but still, that acceleration was plenty fine. You're not going to have any issues there. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So as expected, you will find 4-wheel ventilated disc brakes coming standard. As far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, it comes in at a respectable 121 feet. As far as braking feel goes, it's a little bit on the softer side, but it's not bad. And again, that number, 121 feet, that's brilliant, quite honestly, especially for a truck. A lot of times with trucks, you will find upper 130s. With SUVs, you'll find 130s. So anything in the 120s, that's perfectly acceptable. Anything in the 1-teens is kind of sports sedan. So that is a plenty fine number. Braking feel is plenty fine as well. But then taking a look at the suspension and handling, because it is going to differ slightly depending upon the configuration that you go with here. So for example, up front, you're going to get independent double wishbone type front suspension, but in the back, you're going to find a leaf spring rear suspension for the extra cab, but then a coil spring multi-link rear suspension for the double cab. So that's going to be one of the big differences between the 2023 and the 2024 is that coil spring multi-link rear suspension. It does continue though with the differences. The extra cab is going to give you a front stabilizer bar only, whereas the double cab is going to give you front and rear stabilizer bar. So I did want to emphasize that as well. Overall, as far as ride quality goes, it's been perfectly fine in my short little test drive here today. We do have some pretty darn smooth roads here in Hagerstown, I will say that, but in my short little drive, I've had no issues whatsoever. As far as steering feel goes, it's a little bit on the looser side of things, but it's to be expected for what this truck is. So I don't expect every single car to have the steering feel or handling of a sports car, although I all kind of want them to secretly. But yeah, as far as steering feel goes, it's perfectly fine. Absolutely no issues there. As far as cabin noise goes, we're going 25 miles per hour right now, so I'll let you guys be the judge. So there really isn't a heck of a lot of wind noise coming into the cabin. There was a little bit of road noise at higher speeds there, but it's nothing that would bother me personally. And taking a look at rear visibility, I can see 100% perfectly fine out the back. If you've ever driven a truck before, that's pretty much what it looks like in terms of rear visibility, so you already know. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2024 Toyota Tacoma. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2024 Toyota Tacoma, completely redesigned. But before we get into that, let me go ahead and start with where this one is made. As always, taking a look at the VIN, first character is the number 3, indicating that the new 2024 Tacoma is built and assembled in Mexico, in case you were curious. But back to what I was saying, completely redesigned for 2024. It now actually rides on a variant of the body-on-frame TNGA F platform, which of course is shared with the new Toyota Tundra. So it is completely different for this year. To the sides, LED headlights do come standard. They didn't used to come standard. It used to be halogens, if you guys remember that. So I do love that. With LED daytime running lights, you get the automatic feature, of course, along with automatic high beams as well. So if you have your high beams on at night and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. And when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up to high beams for you there. So definitely very convenient. LED fog lights down below, that is going to be an optional feature. We do have them. I love how they're kind of incorporated into the front grille, kind of like the new Tundra as well. So cool placement there. And for anyone who was curious, as far as ground clearance goes, that is going to come in at 11 inches. So anyways, that pretty much rounds out the front end of the Tacoma. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of this one, body colored power adjustable side mirrors do come standard. You got the Tacoma lettering, of course, found on the front doors, but on the rear doors, you actually have the trim level badging. So if you're wandering onto a lot, maybe on a Sunday, a Toyota dealership near you, and you're curious about the trim level that you're looking at, go ahead and take a look at the rear doors. So that's pretty cool. But cast aluminum running boards, we do have those today. They go for $1,199. In case you were curious, and I will say they are somewhat needed, so it was a little bit of a stretch for me to get in this one. Not quite as much as the Tundra, but still they were nice to have, I'll just put it that way. Then take a look down at the wheel setup. It is going to be 17-inch silver alloys for our SR5 trim level, so I think they look pretty darn good. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of this one, the first thing I actually noticed on this new Tacoma that kind of stood out to me is kind of integrated rear spoiler into the roof. So it's like an integrated roof spoiler. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys can see it up there, but anyways, you do have the Tacoma lettering found on the tailgate, of course. If you go with the 4x4, you do have that badging as well back there. Of course, you got the 4 and 7 pin connectors just to the left of that license plate there. And as far as max towing capacity, it's going to differ slightly depending upon the configuration you go with. For the extra cab, it comes in at 6,500 pounds. For the double cab, it comes in at 6,400 pounds. And then take a look down at the exhaust outlet there. It's going to be tucked away underneath on the driver's side. And there are a couple of finishes. You can get a chrome finish or a dark chrome tip. They go for $120 if you wanted either of those finishes. We have none of those, of course, but having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. And so now since we are around to the back of the Tacoma here, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, there is going to be a lever on the tailgate itself, of course. Once opened up though, as far as payload capacity goes, it comes in at 1,710 pounds. If you're curious, there's a deck rail system with 4 adjustable tie-down cleats back there. There's actually an SR5 upgrade package I wanted to mention though that goes for $3,075. It's going to give you LED bed lighting. There's an easy lower tailgate because this one that we have is not an easy lower tailgate. It will come crashing down if you just let it go, and that comes with a bunch of other stuff as well, but that's going to give you a couple added things in the back at least, but plenty of space back there nonetheless. But then make your way up to the rear seats. Rear seat legroom comes in at 33.7 inches for our double cab. Obviously the extra cab is going to give you no rear seats, so yeah, I don't have to mention that one, but for reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had back there. There of course is 60-40 split flip up rear seats with some storage underneath if you were to go with the double cab as well, so I'll show that to you guys here. Power sliding rear window is going to be optional on the double cab. We don't have it unfortunately, but overall finished like a truck. There actually is a 12-volt power outlet down at the bottom back there as well. But so then make our way up to the front seats. Manually adjustable cloth seating does come standard. Heated front seats is a $655 option package at the cheapest. It's going to be available in some other option packages as well, but if you just wanted the heated seats, it's part of a $655 option package. But overall, as far as seat comfort goes, I didn't have any issues. I mean, not the very most comfortable seats, but it's definitely not bad either for them being manually adjustable cloth seats. I'll just just put it that way. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the steering wheel here. It is tilt and telescoping. It's going to be wrapped in polyurethane, but leather wrap steering wheel is optional. So I did want to mention that. And overall, it kind of feels like the Tundra steering wheel, same design as well. So I kind of liked it. But then make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key. Essentially, everything is on one side of the key. You got your Toyota logo at the bottom, lock, unlock. So kind of basic, but it is all keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that black engine start button located just to the left of the infotainment screen there. And so once started up, so there's going to be a couple different gauge clusters. What you were looking at is the basic gauge cluster. It's going to be a smaller digital screen, but it still has absolutely everything you need on there. So it's all digital. You got a digital speedometer, tachometer surrounding it. Of course, there's your average miles per gallon, which I'm averaged like 22 miles per gallon, by the way. Now that the car's been sitting, of course, it's going to show a lot less though, of course. It gives you how many miles you have left until you hit empty in the lower right-hand corner there. It's also the trip A, trip B. You can check out your radio information up there. There's your tire pressure for each individual tire up there. That isn't always the case, so wanted to emphasize that. But overall, gauges look fine, but there is a 12.3-inch full digital gauge cluster available for the SR5, and that will take up the entire screen. So I do want to mention that as well. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. Auto dimming rear view mirror actually does come standard for the SR5, so you gotta love that. Automatic climate control is going to be optional. We don't have that today, so I have absolutely no idea what actual temperature we're on, but you just turn it to the left and to the right. Very easy to use, I'll put it that way. Universal home remote is going to be part of a package option. Wireless phone charger, part of a package option as well. Overall, it did have some pretty cool little touches though. So there's a lot of texturized finishes. So like on the doors, it's going to be like this rubberized, texturized finish, kind of like a grab handle there. Just below that, kind of have this breathable storage just below, so that was kind of cool. I do like kind of the gloss black Tacoma lettering found just above the passenger side glove box. Just above that, you got a little bit more storage, although I wish that was rubberized, but it's still not bad. I like that it's there. And of course, you got the glove box just below that, and I don't see any issues with that either. But just surrounding the shifter, you got a little bit more storage, couple USB charging ports, 12-volt power outlet there as well. Just behind the shifter, you got your cup holders, and within the center armrest, there's actually a decent amount of storage in there. So anyways, it's very functional, very to the point, as a truck should be, I guess you could say. But now let's go ahead and check out the infotainment screen here. It's going to be an 8-inch color touchscreen display for our SR5, Bluetooth and audio streaming coming standard, wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You gotta love that. Eliminate the pesky wires. And also check out your driving statistics up there. That's pretty nice. And of course, your radio information. And so when it comes to the sound systems, there are 2 of them. You're gonna find a 6-speaker sound system that comes standard, but then there's an optional 10-speaker JBL sound system with a couple of the package options if you wanted to go that route. But having said that, we do got the 6-speaker sound system with us here today. So what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. Actually, for 6 speakers, that's really not that bad. There was a good bit of bass going on there. Clarity was perfectly fine. This isn't that big of a cab size, so sound system works really well for the Tacoma. I'll just put it that way. I didn't have any issues. Obviously, if you like music, go with the JBL, but that wasn't bad. But last thing I want to mention to you guys on that infotainment screen is when you do put the Taco in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board, letting you know who or what is behind you, which is always going to lead us into safety. So front side curtain airbags do come standard. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers to children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, Toyota Safety Sense 3.0. That gives you a pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, proactive driving assist, lane departure alert with steering assist, road sign assist, dynamic radar cruise control, and a blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert. That's those little car icons in your side mirrors letting you know if somebody is in your blind spot. That comes standard for the SR5. That's pretty cool. And so overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the Tacoma SR5, I do like the new coil spring suspension. It was plenty fine. Rode perfectly fine on our super smooth roads here in Hagerstown, I will say that. But also wanted to do a little bit of light off-roading with it, overlanding, I should say. So wanted to show that to you guys. That turned out perfectly fine for me as well. And I mentioned that because historically, the Tacoma is known for very good off-road capability. Maybe not this specific trim level, although I'm sure it would do just fine, but there are some other trim levels that would absolutely crush it off-road. Although in my light overlanding, this one was perfectly fine. I'll just put it that way. And so, but that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow Younger Toyota on social media at the bottom of the screen. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews and all of our fun YouTube shorts we put on the channel as well. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and we will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.